What's going on, everyone? It's Adam here from No Shelf Space, and today we're going to be unboxing a game I'm really excited about. It is Mass Effect, the board game, Priority Hagalaz. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but we're going to take a peek at this. I'm so excited about this. I love the Mass Effect video games. As you may know, I was in video games before I got into board games with content creation, and I'm very excited for Mass Effect. But we're going to get this thing opened up. I'm going to show you everything that comes in the box. So let's get going. All right, so here we have just the main box. Has all the information. Eric Lang, fellow Canadian. Kelvin Wong. We got BioWare, EA, and Modiphius Entertainment. If we spin this box here, right here we have the information on the side. 1 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes per mission, and suitable for ages 14 and above. There's a little bit of artwork here on the side of the box as well. You can see the various characters and then as well as their models, which I really like. So you have the characters on either side, and then you have the models just opposite that, like that. All right, let's start right at the top here with character sheets. So each character sheet is two-sided. So this is the side you'll be using when you play the game, and you'll be using a dry erase marker to mark off various things. When you first start the game, your character will have access to the blue abilities here. These blacked out ones you will need to obviously check off and unlock before you can use them. You have your hearts and your shields up there. This character here, Liara, has a analysis tracker as well. Right here is a special ability that you'll be able to use at the beginning of your turn. Up here is where you're going to be placing dice to perform actions, and of course the dice have to, when you roll them, they have to match the various action icons: move, mission, revive. And then over here is what you're going to do to gain experience for each mission or level that you're going to play, and there's a spot for each one. So the maximum of missions you're going to play in this game in a campaign is going to be 5. That's 3 main missions, and we'll show you the campaign sheet in a second, but that's 3 main missions and then 2 additional missions which are tied to the game's various characters. If your character ever dies, you'll flip your sheet over and you'll be looking at this side of it as well. It'll tell you when you're downed, and then it'll tell you when you get revived again what you'll be doing, but this is just how you're going to flip it when you die, and then you can get back in the game. So there we have Liara, and I'll go through these. You can pause, of course, if you want, but here we have Garrus. We'll flip this over here. He has an aim tracker instead of an analysis tracker, and then his aim ability. Again, blue abilities are the ones you start with. Black abilities have to be unlocked. You place for your dice. Same thing over here with the missions and things like that. We have Rex. So there's Rex, nice character. We're going to flip this one in here because we need to. But there we got Rex. Again, dice. We've got the Blood Rage. We've got the Rage Tracker. Abilities down here. Again, you can pause if you want to read all of the various abilities, but very cool. Then we have here, sorry, I got to put 2 sheets in here. We have Tali here. Again, this is the lock side. There's the character art right there. We flip it over, and we have the various dice placements, combat drone, and then abilities. There's no special tracker here for Tali, which is fine. But you got your move, your mission, your revive. You match the dice. The place to level up. All the abilities you can unlock. Again, I'll pause it here in case, or you can pause it if you want to look a little bit more closely at that. They give you 2 options for Shepard, the main character of the game. You have a male or a female and a male option. And I do believe everything is exactly the same. I believe they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. So it's just if you want the male or female version. Now this one does not have the the downed side, because if Shepard ever dies, you lose. So there would be no downed option. But again, you've got your command ability here. No special tracker, but look at all the abilities you can get for Shepard, which is really cool. So again, you've got the female version and you've got the male version right there. All right, so this is a campaign map. So here's just a terrain reference. Handy to have this. Just kind of tells you what everything is on the board, and we'll show you the board in a little bit. But you've got your different icons down here that you're going to need to keep track of, and then just some terrain information so that you can learn a little bit more about high ground, low ground, stuff like that. But anyway, this is the side we're looking at. This is your campaign map. So you're going to start down here by picking either one of these 3 missions. You're either going to pick 1A, 1B, or 1C. And then from there, you are going to branch. And here you can see loyalty missions. And there are 4 different loyalty missions you can do, but you can only do 2 per campaign. So if you started over here, you could do 1A, then you could do one of the loyalty missions. Then you'd either come over to 2A or 2B. Then again, you could do another loyalty, and you would finish at the top. But you could branch pretty far, because you could start down here at 1A. You could go up here, 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 and come over and finish here. So you'll be able to play through this a couple times if you want to see everything. But the maximum amount of missions you're going to play is 5 to complete the campaign. And then down here, we have a war readiness tracker as well. We have an intel tracker up over here. And then it tells you actually when you set up your first game to read story paragraph 76. So these are all of like whiteboard kind of vinyl laminated so that you can write on them with a marker, and we'll show that in a second. Here we have the rule book. Now this looks really big and daunting and stuff like that. Like, I mean, there's 41 pages for this. There's a bit of story element in here, and I'll slowly flip through so you can get like a bird's eye view here, but maybe I'll prop it up. There we go. So you've got this long table of contents, but a lot of it is things you're just going to reference once in a while. So you've got your overview of how you're playing, what your squad does, what victory and defeat looks like. You've got your big components overview here on these 2 pages. Talk about enemy tokens, talks about story paragraphs. It tells you how to use the campaign map and how to chart your course through the campaign map. And I mean, this whole page right here, I explained when we talked about this. So that only takes a couple minutes. It's not a lot. Then it talks about the mission book, which we're going to look at next. What you can see there, it's also going to talk about the mission map spaces, what they all mean. And then just detailed stuff. And this is stuff you'll probably read once, maybe twice, but it talks about out of bounds, adjacency, counting distance to something. Line of fire, things like that. What else we got? We got shrouded areas. Then it talks about the squad sheets, which I just explained. And once again, these little handy little side things here are really great. There's one over here as well. Just labels everything really nicely for you to cross-reference. It's a well laid out rule book, I will say that. It talks about when you're downed, and then it says, you know, here's how you start out. Here's how you do a mission. You can choose to do it low, medium, or extreme. How to prepare your enemies, how to prepare the map, how to deploy tokens, because you're going to have lots of tokens. You're going to have your characters, you're going to have dice, you're going to have these little tokens going out on the board. There's a lot to getting this game set up, but once you read through this, you realize, you know, there's not all that much that you need to worry about. But there we go. We got additional rules. A handy, lots of art. There's a handy, talks about turrets and stuff. There's a handy table of contents at the beginning, though, so you can easily find what you might be looking for. All right, this is the narrative book. I am not going to open this up except for real briefly just to do this. And it's just going to, this is just reading. It'll tell you to read a paragraph in here. You go find it, read it. Not going to open that up because I don't want to ruin anything. All right, let's talk about the mission book. This is the mission book right here. And I've been playing the Mandalorian Adventures lately, and it's very similar to that. You've got all your mission information here on the left, including different things you're going to need to complete in order to beat the mission. So in other words, it says, just as an example, a squad mate in a hex containing an objective token can use a mission action to sabotage a Cerberus transceiver. Move the objective token to one of the slots below. Once all 3 slots are full, this stage is complete. And that will go over here, over to the sabotage both mechs king. It'll go to the here. There's lots of different options here of different things you can do. You've got elites, enemies on the board, and you also have a mission failure spot right there in case, you know, you fail the mission. And then here's your game board, and you'll be placing your pieces and tokens and everything onto this board. And they're only ever half a page big. Not that long, but games can take, you know, 45, 90 minutes. So they're not short missions, but it'll tell you where to put various little tokens on the board. You have these icons like here and here, and that's where elite enemies are going to get placed. So as you can see here, this orange elite enemy is going to go on this space right here. This blue elite enemy is going to go on that space right there. There are various other crates on here and other things. So just knowing what all the iconography means and everything is going to be really important. But there you go. I don't want to ruin this as well, so I'm going to stop there. But this is just the mission book. And if you go to the back, it has those loyalty missions. So this is the Rex one, but it has those loyalty missions like we discussed previously. All right, moving on. It does come with a lid to keep everything kind of in here. Here are the various models for the various characters. The quality of them is fine, in my opinion. They're good. They're not the best miniatures I've ever seen, but they are pretty darn good. And if you love Mass Effect, I think you'll like the detail here. I'm just hoping they focus in, but you will like the detail here on these characters. So if that is your thing, fantastic. But there we go. I got a couple more here to look at. There we go. I like this one the best, probably. Rex's, it's the chunkiest as well. So it probably just feels the best. And there we go. And of course you have two for Shepard. Two different for Shepard, and then you've got your other characters. Here are the dice you're going to be using in the game for attacking, moving, defending, all of that good stuff. Two dark blue and the rest are white. Here are the little tokens you'll need. These will track like those different trackers you saw, the shields, the health, everything like that. Then we have these bag of tokens. These are things that you're going to be placing out on the board. There's like mysteries, there's crates. These little things somewhere in here, those are turrets, locks and unlocks. So these are all the little bits and bobs that you're going to put on the board. And then we have two bags of enemies. These are just kind of your standard regular enemies. You'll be stocking this bag with them. I'll show you the bag. You're going to be stocking that bag with them. Not a bad bag. Not the best bag I've seen, but not a bad bag. But you'll be stocking the bag with the characters and pulling them out when necessary. And then these are the Elite's enemies right here. They're larger size tokens. They're just a little bit bigger than those ones. But there's a whole bunch of those as well. And the mission book will tell you when you need to put those on the board. You do get a dry erase marker because you're going to need to be marking stuff off as you play. And it has just a little bit of Mass Effect branding on there. And then you have cards. And again, these are kind of mission-based cards, I believe. So I'm not sure I want to go through them. I'm going to open them. Of course, we're going to open them. But I'm not sure I want to rifle through them and ruin anything for you. But there are just a ton of cards. These look like action cards right there. Oh, these are for Reapers. And what are these for? Oh, okay. So just two decks of cards. These are probably what operate the enemies right there. But there you go. That is everything you get. And everything kind of goes away really nicely as well, which I love. You place this book like this, and then you put the rule book and the narrative book in there. That kind of gives that a level spot. You throw this on top. There's not a whole lot. That was the goal when they made the game. There's not a whole lot of bits and bobs in the box. It looks relatively simple to get to the table and to play. Maybe a little bit of setup, but when you're playing for 90 minutes, what's 10 minutes worth of setup? Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing of Mass Effect, the board game. I hope you enjoyed this. Please stay tuned for more great content on the channel. We'll have a full review of Mass Effect, the board game, over on GamesReviews.com. I'll put a link to that in the description box down below. But until next time, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll chat again real soon. Goodbye.